Okay, guys, so as you know, in the past, I've not shied away from interviewing some of, some folks who have kind of come under scrutiny and things of that nature. And one of those individuals, actually Zero, he's somebody who I've known for almost like a little over a decade at this point. And I am not shy in saying that when everything went down, I certainly did check in on him. Not as much as I wish I did, actually, but because I do care about people's mental state and their health, especially when I've known somebody for over 10 years. I'm not the type of person to just kind of turn my back on them. I like to, kind of get the full story. And honestly, just again, their well being does mean something to me. So this is really what kind of prompted this interview as well, because I felt it would be not a bad idea for him to kind of give like a little bit of an update, because there are still a lot of people out there who care about Zero's well-being and things of that nature and what he's been up to. So that's exactly what we're going to do today. A little bit of a check-in. So Zero, first and foremost, thank you for taking the time to join me. I hope this isn't taking up too much of your time today.
Yeah, hey, how's it going? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, for sure, dude. I guess the main thing I just kind of want to hit you with right now is if you're kind of comfortable with sharing, what have you kind of been up to these days? Like, what pretty much consumes your time? Because I know it used to be like all YouTube, right? Just a whole lot of YouTube content. You were like the ultimate grinder at that. But what's kind of been the thing you're up to these days?
Well, a little bit of everything.
Okay.
Um, when things happen, I kind of I wasn't really sure what to do in life.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing I did a lot of is that I was really into motocross at the time,
Yeah.
which is dirt bikes. So I did a good amount of that. And I was like, I was really fit at that point. Like I was like way thinner than like most people will recognize me on camera. And I was getting pretty fast on the bike.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so what happened is that at some point of doing that, I had a really, really, really bad accident. I mean, obviously, I haven't like told anyone about this, but
Sure. This is all new information. Absolutely.
um, so basically, what happened is that one day, during like like a normal ride, um, basically I want to say I landed from like a big jump,
Mm-hmm.
um, and then the throttle on the bike got stuck in a corner. The problem is that this particular track, the corner is like a berm, right? Which meaning that it's really long, it's really large,
Okay.
and basically you could think of it like you could use it as a jump. That's how elevated it is. So basically, I'm going in a straight line, and then I'm leaning the bike to make the corner. The throttle gets stuck, and I basically fly off the berm on flat land, like somewhere else where you're not like there's rocks and everything. And I flew
Damn.
probably 35 feet off the bike. Landed on the ground,
Mm-hmm.
rolled, and when I landed on the ground, I could not get up. I felt this really sharp pain in my chest, and I could not move my legs, right? So I actually thought I paralyzed myself. So
Yeah.
like I thought I really like screwed something up, and it was actually really scary because when the injury happened, the track was kind of empty. There were not. It was like towards the end of the day, and I remember Vanessa was with me that day, and so she's kind of waiting for me to return. Um, at the parking area, and then because she can watch from there, but then like she kind of stopped hearing my bike, so for the next 10 minutes she just kind of just waiting there like, well, where is he? And then she started looking for me. Well, basically what happened is that I'm just laying there on the ground. I can't get up. The bike is like all destroyed over there, and I'm like just on behind some berm. I'm like pretty well hidden at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so basically, she tried to look for me for like 20 something minutes, and then eventually just like found me like on some corner, like just laying there, and she thought I died actually, because it looked like I was dead from afar.
When did this happen exactly? What like?
Uh, I don't remember the exact date. Maybe August, September,
Okay. August, September. Okay.
October, maybe
Mm-hmm.
somewhere around those days. So I was rushed we rushed to like this emergency room. Somehow, actually, I did not break anything.
Oh wow.
But I did bruise my internal ribs really bad. Um, so then I was off the bike for a while then. And then when I came back, came back to the bike. I went out to the track and I went out with a friend of mine and Vanessa, and I landed from a jump, and I don't know what happened. But basically, if you were to look at the foot pegs of a dirt bike, you'll see, or like if you went on Google and looked it up, you'll see that most people will ride with the tip of their foot on the pegs, and then
Yeah,
the rest are kind of hanging.
makes sense.
Yeah. So basically, what happened is that I landed, and then my foot, literally as I landed, my foot shattered. Like literally the bones of my ankle exploded. Okay, upon landing, and then my foot literally flatlined. Like imagine your foot on the peg, and it just becomes like a straight line down.
Oh my lord.
Yeah. Actually, to this day, I still have ankle problems.
I would imagine so. Like, so with all that, because that sounds like that happened like back to back, right? Like you
Yes.
falling off, and
Yeah.
then the ankle thing. Has
Yeah.
this like? Do you just not do motocross anymore? Is that like not a thing?
No, I had to stop going to the gym completely because it actually was so crippling that for 2 to 3 months I actually couldn't walk very much. So ever since I got that injury, I had to get off the fitness train. So I started gaining some weight again
Yeah,
because I don't know, it's just really depressing to like want to do sports or want to care about how you look or feel when you can't do anything that you like.
sure.
And this is like very recent, maybe like as of like a month ago
Okay.
or maybe 2 weeks ago. I just been able to like start lifting things again, and riding a bike, not like a dirt bike, like a normal bicycle. But like, yeah, like it was a very long time of being injured, very very long time. The doctor, when he reviewed the the papers, or rather the scan or whatever they call it,
Mm-hmm.
of my foot, he literally said, "Wow, this looks terrible."
All right. Honestly, man, it sounds that sounds rough because it sounds like it kind of came like just this happened like right after the whole incident that took place in like July and stuff like that. So this is kind of like just a streak of just things that are just completely kind of turn your life upside down, if that makes sense. So I mean, I
Yeah,
can, you know what I mean? Like I can only imagine like what that put on you mentally, right?
yeah. So I remember that when that stuff happened, I was well, leading up to that point, I really was already struggling a lot with
Mm-hmm.
mental health. I never really have done very well mentally. I have a history of uh, suicide from a very young age. I think the first time I tried to kill myself, I think I was 10.
Really?
Um, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I remember, maybe I mentioned this somewhere. I'm not. It's not like I hide it, but
Sure.
basically, I came back from school one day because I got really bullied when in middle school. Um, so basically, I came home one day, and I told my mom that I didn't really want to go back to school, and I basically told her, "What's the point of living? I don't want to go to school. I'm useless." And then we used to live in an apartment back then, and I opened the window, and I just tried to jump off, and then she like got me by the foot.
Oh my
Um,
God.
yeah, I was like maybe 10 or 11, I forget, but I was like very young age.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Um.
the reason I really like the riding dirt bikes is
Mhm.
because dirt bikes are really dangerous. Mind you, I know that it's a very very dangerous sport. And you can kill yourself literally doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, I seen people leave on stretchers at the track all the time. It's not like it's uncommon, but it sounds stupid. But maybe the reason I liked it is because at the time I felt so dead. Like I just felt like I died. Where by doing something that made me feel like I could die, it felt like I was alive. So if in a way, it felt like the only thing I could do to exist. It just felt that way.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of gives you that rush, that sense of
Yes.
purpose almost in a way, which I can completely understand
Yeah.
where that's coming from. So yeah, having that like that again, just having all that stuff kind of taken away from your life all at once. Yeah, I can kind of see how that could, uh, lead to. And I don't, if you're not comfortable talking about this, but I know like a couple of months ago, Vanessa posted an update on Twitter about I believe you tried to take your life again, which we're glad that obviously that was not a successful case. But is that kind of like all that stuff? Was that kind of like was that like towards like the build up that kind of led to another attempt or?
Yeah. So when I posted my the very last thing I posted, which was I think it was like that thing on Twitter, or I forget, but it was like the very last thing I posted on Twitter. Actually, I was gonna kill myself right there. Um, and like I had it all ready. I was like, it was like late at night. I forget when it was exactly, but it was like an awkward time.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I was gonna commit suicide there. And then like Vanessa like stayed up for like 3 days to make sure I didn't kill myself. Cause like I was like literally like actively like I'm gonna do it right now.
Yeah.
Like 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 there was like a period for like 2 days where like if Vanessa goes to the bathroom, I'll kill myself. Like it was very serious. Uh, and like she eventually kind of like calmed me down to get me out of that mindset. But I was like, if she was not there, I certainly would be dead. No questions asked.
Yeah, I was gonna say it definitely. Well, one, I'm glad to hear you and Vanessa, still have this relationship, especially with her being able to, again, keep eye on you and encourage you enough to kind of get out of that mind state. Because I imagine at this point, because like I had reached out prior to kind of check in, and then like I heard that I reached out again, and you did eventually get back to me, which I was glad that you were able to reply, and you seem to be in a little bit better spirits, if that's fair to say, at least not in as much of a dark place, when
Yeah.
that was going on. Is that fair to say?
Well, so like the way I see it is that well that the first 6 months were really bad.
Yeah, of course.
And like anything that I tried to do, like well you get injured, you get this, you get that. So I'm just kind of just there. Um, I think one thing that was really difficult for me was that I didn't really feel like I had any options to do anything.
Yeah.
Um, like I remember that well I never there's some things that people don't know about me because I never talked to them or talked about them
Hmm.
to like on the internet. But like I have some like different skill sets that people don't know about, and like I just kept them to myself. And when I went out to try to get a job, I found a really nice position in a really important company.
Hmm.
And it was like a good job, like it was like a legitimate, really good offer. And I felt really happy about it because I was like, they were like, oh, you're like the perfect candidate, and like you fit all the criteria. Um, and like we can make this work, and they were like really excited about it, and it was like a really high ranked position too, so it wasn't like a starter position at all. And I was like really excited about it, and I could do it from home, so like life was not gonna like change or anything like that. Um, so then like they were like, okay, we're gonna send you the employment agreement and all that, and I was like really excited to start. And then like they came back to me like maybe like a day later, and they were like, hey, we found out some stuff about you. We don't feel comfortable you working for us anymore. We retract our employment position. Uh, and like that got me like really bad for a long time
Yeah.
um because like I tried to apply for university,
Hmm.
and like I was really discouraged because like I said, what's the point of me applying to do anything when like you'll get really far in the process, and then like they'll look up your name, and then like it's over. um and like my face is really recognizable, so I mean, like, what's the point of me trying to hide anyway? So that was like maybe like around like November, maybe December, where I was like really trying to find something else to do. But I couldn't find anything because anything that I tried to do, it was like the same wall constantly. Like it was like this endless loop of like, oh yeah, we love your skill set. You can do this. Like you have a great resume, this and that, or like, oh, this is perfect. Like we love your attitude, everything. And then like oh yeah, we found this stuff about you. Nope, nope, you're done.
Yeah.
Don't
And
don't call us again.
yeah, and that and I, there's kind of two sides of the coin there. Like the way I've always operated about things is like if you've made a poor decision or done like a poor choice, and I call it a poor decision or choice and not mistake because it is you're conscious, but at the same time, like I kind of put it in the scope where I know how young you were when you moved to this country, and I do know the environments you were in when you were in this country. Like some of the place, I'm not gonna put those people business out there or whatever. But I know, like, not exactly the most upstanding thing. So, like, things, the way you kind of think or not think, it can be, molded and shaped by. Like, I get that. But I don't, in your case, I don't think that by any means you should not be allowed to move on and pursue other things. And I think that's something that a lot of people don't have empathy towards. Like, they think, okay, because you got to put things on, like, in my opinion, you have to put things on the level that they should be on. And in your case, I do not believe that you should just not be allowed to ever do anything again in life. Like, we've spoken, you told me, you felt like therapy was very helpful. Obviously, Vanessa's been very helpful, and you're just trying to take, baby steps or leaps into other things, other avenues, which I think is fine. Like, obviously, I think Twitch like suspended your account, but YouTube, I believe you still, like, if you chose to, you can make content. It doesn't have to be Smash related content, or even if it is, like I've said this before, people can exist in their own space outside of the Smash community. Like, no one is demanding that you be brought back into the community, but to say that somebody is unredeemable, or they can't move on and still do other things and live, is just a little too much for me. And I understand, like, the amount of pressure you've been on, especially like when you think about how high profile you were, and, like, again, you said it yourself, you're very recognizable. So it is a shame, because I do think you should be allowed to try and pursue other things and just move on and continue to just better yourself, because I do not think you're a horrible person at all. I think you just need the opportunity to have that growth. And do you feel like that's something that you're deserving of?
Well, it's hard for me to think about like making content or anything like that because
Sure.
um it's obviously you can't really tell from just like a voice interview or
Hmm.
something like that. But I changed a lot as a person
Okay.
since the events. I'm like uh like I'm really shy now, and I'm like I just like talk different, and like I don't like interact the same way with people anymore. I'm like really um I'm just a lot. I don't even know how to explain it.
I
I'm
think
like
you're just more reserved.
not even reserved. I'm like a
No.
little scared. Like I'm a little scared of people in a
Okay.
way. And it like even if I was able to come back to content, I I don't think I could, because I don't think I'd be able to be the person that people knew me as,
Yeah,
even if I
I
tried.
feel you.
And another thing that I haven't mentioned is that I developed really bad PTSD. So like my PTSD it's crippling. So like I never really struggled with anxiety in my life, but I have insanely bad anxiety these days.
Hmm.
Um, so it basically feels like it's like a combination of like sleep paralysis, and then like but like you're awake, right? So it's like I can't move, and then like I start hearing like noises, and then like I can't breathe, and then like it just feels like I need to like sometimes when I get like those episodes, I have to like bang my head on the wall. It's actually horrible.
Yeah, it
And
sounds
like
terrible.
and it gets triggered by like very simple things. So like for example, if I play video games, sometimes I get it. If I like go on social media, I get it immediately. If I think about like social media, I get it immediately. Um, like just like thinking about like stuff from the past, like triggers me.
Yeah.
When people call me Zero, it triggers me. Like there was I'm like really afraid of going outside. So like when I go outside, I'm always nervous, because like the words that people call me as these days, they have really negative connotations. So then like I mean, I'm sure there's like people that like will kill people, that they call that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
That, yeah,
uh,
that word. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so I'm always like scared of going outside, because I'm like I don't know if like someone's just gonna kill me if they see me. And like every time I go outside, I get recognized, and it really scares me, because I don't know if like they're gonna like like, oh, it's you, or like, so far they've always been happy to see me. But like I'm like really scared of the day like I find somebody else.
Who's not happy? Yeah, like,
Yeah.
which is a reasonable fear to have. Again, that kind of harps back to my point. Like there's just so much there, and I remember, like, I know it took like kind of a couple tries from you to, when you were addressing it, and I think, there was a lot of stuff going on at that time, and there's like, you're gonna post stuff reactionary, and you're not gonna, have all the clarity to formulate, the most concise response right out the gate, right? So again, I understand it took you a couple tries, and you did own up to it. But I'm not excusing it, but I am saying that, there has to be a level that we get to where we allow somebody the opportunity to continue with their life, and they certainly shouldn't have to live in the fear of like death, like what you just described. I don't like that at all. And I know some people aren't going to agree like with my take on things, but I'm not saying that people shouldn't be held accountable, or the punishment shouldn't fit the crime, or stuff of that nature. But like this, you get one life, and I think it's disingenuous to think that we shouldn't get an opportunity to correct stuff that's taken place. And I'm sorry to hear that even just the thought of going outside or checking social media terrifies you. I'm hoping that it's not as consistent as you mentioned. I did see on Instagram, you did post like a story update on your birthday, which was, I don't know if you did that or Vanessa did that or something, but I'm sure that's actually one of the things that got a couple people messaging like, oh, have you like heard from Zero or anything like that? So, I don't know if that's like something that's probably not going to happen again for a long time, or if that's you easing back into social media, but it's definitely something I recognized anyway.
Well, like I said, Vanessa is like the most important person in my life,
Yeah,
and she, she tries really hard to make me feel better, and um, I mean, it's hard because like I said, like I'm like on medicine and I have like therapy, but I'm like a really um broken person these days,
sure.
so
I get it.
it's the weight is a lot to overbear with at times. Um, and like it's not something you can just fix. um a large part of why I consider suicide is because it just feels like it's something you can't fix. And it doesn't matter how I feel about anything, because um I don't think people will ever change their mind. So it just feels like it's better if you die and try again in another life. It just, I mean, I don't know if people even believe in that stuff. I don't even know if I do, but
Hmm.
just feels like a more reassuring thing to think, because it's like, it's like you don't have a second chance. You don't have an opportunity to do better. So it just feels like you should just give up, right?
Well,
But that's just how it feels at the time.
yeah, yeah.
Just so, because like when you when you tell people like you're like on the deep end like that, like people get scared, or like they don't really understand it. Because if you explain the concept of like suicide to somebody that doesn't get it, they don't get it, right? Because they've never been in that position before.
100%. Yep.
But if you have been on that deep end before, then you can kind of understand how it feels. It's a For me, it's always been a reaction towards the lack of options. It's almost like if you were playing a game and then you turn off the console because you don't feel like playing anymore.
Hmm.
It feels like that. Like it's just you're just gonna unplug the thing and
Yeah.
finish.
I can't say I've been to that level where I've had it like planned out and tried to execute it. Me personally, I've had, a relationship go sour and get really, really depressed and sad about that. Maybe thought some crazy things too. But one thing, for me that's helped me go is like knowing like there are people that care. Obviously, in your case, Vanessa has been an angel for you, and I'm very glad to hear that. I really am, and honestly, I just hope slowly and gradually you can not, it's not getting back to what life was. It's getting on with life now, and that's the main thing that I wanted to kind of kind of let people in here and just have a sense of what's going on with you. And I appreciate you being so open and candid with me especially because, like I said, there's a lot of people who do care and are wondering. And if you don't mind, kind of closing us out, like, for any of your fans or stuff, watching, would you have any like words you'd like to share with them?
Um, um, a a lot of people like want me to like come back or like make some type of video. The reality is that the reality is that this is um, th- I mean, I do have additional things to say about the things that happen,
Yeah, on your own time,
but
of course.
because I mean, just to put it bluntly, like there are some things I need to clear up.
Okay.
Um, but like the, the thing is that really the difficulty for me is that it's so traumatic for me to even think about this that like every time I've tried to put myself together to do something about it, it just like I just feel like vomiting. Like it's just
Yeah.
I tried like I tried really hard um and like I hope to one day I don't know when but um at the same time like I said um I don't know exactly what to say to like people that like really want me back because it's like not something that I feel like I have any control over
Hmm.
and like even if I wanted to which I don't it just like I don't even know how I would I don't even know how I would do it. um I know this sounds like very negative but it's I can't I wouldn't just be able to say like willy-nilly oh yeah yeah no I got it because it's not so simple right.
No, not at all.
um but like I said like I do have some things I would like to clear up and I would love to do something about certain things
Okay.
that I feel like I need to do but it's not easy. So I guess bear with me on that. um there's a lot of people that message me on a like I don't know there's like people that send me these like really long emails and messages and I appreciate those. I have not responded to a single one of them. Don't take it personal. Like I don't even respond to my own mom.
Right.
Um, like it's just like I said, I'm like weird now. So like responding to messages, it's like it takes like a level of mental energy that I just don't have. Um, like even doing this interview, like when you asked me to do this interview, like I thought about it for like every minute of the day because I
Yeah.
was so nervous. Because I don't know, I just I didn't, like I had to like gather my mental energy for so long to like do it.
Well, I can't pretend like, I mean, again, a big part of this was, the fact that I guess, because I've touched these kind of subjects before, and, I try and do it with a level of respect to all parties involved, that people feel comfortable asking me to do this. And like, again, like we've been in contact, a couple times throughout since everything happened, because, yeah, again, I wanted to make sure you weren't doing anything that, would harm yourself, which obviously we found out some things throughout this interview, which I, again, appreciate you sharing with us all. And I'm glad it didn't work out in that way. I'm glad you're still here. And, hey, at the end of the day, again, it's not about the content, but it's just about, your life and trying to move forward with that. And hopefully being comfortable enough to at least do this interview, maybe that, that can kind of help with that a little bit too. As I've tried to be as, respectful as I could. Again,
Yeah, there was I appreciate that. There was I don't feel like suicidal anymore. Um, but like like I don't feel suicidal at all
yeah,
in any shape or form right now. And I'm like genuinely trying not to be that way. Um, like I think one of the things that did a lot of damage to me was that I think I was on Netflix some time ago, and I watched this documentary. Right,
hmm,
this documentary about um a guy who's getting out of prison. I think he did like 40 years, and basically what it was. Keep in mind I'm paraphrasing, so I may be wrong about some details,
sure,
but basically he's like a teenager, and then like he shot and killed somebody, like a drug deal or something like that. And he did like 40 something years in jail, and like now he's like, getting out, and he's like almost 60, right? So like he went to jail when he was like 17, 18 or something like that, right? Or maybe 16, right? And now he's like 56 or like almost 60, right?
Yeah.
Um, and like the documentary is not like about his story. It's not like about like why he did it or like any of that. It's literally about how life is after you leave that the I don't know if they call it prison or jail. I think there's a difference, but after after you come out, right? Like how's your life after? And the thing that was painful for me to watch is because I in a lot of ways I felt like that because like the guy basically was like, well, I have no other option than to be homeless right now because I can't rent any place, I can't buy a house, I don't have money for that, and I can't rent anywhere because no one will ever rent to me because I have a conviction for murder.
Yeah.
You know, and then the guy was like, I can't get a job because I have this conviction, and it was like this like series where like he couldn't find anywhere to live, he couldn't find employment, he couldn't have friends, all his family left him, and it was like this insanely sad thing to watch because when I was looking at that video, I realized that the person I'm watching is dead, but they seem to be alive, but they're dead
Hmm.
because their life is over. And the guy was like really religious and he was like really positive, but in my head I was thinking, I was like, this guy's dead, and I think that's one of the things that did the most damage to me. I think that was one of the things that led me to that moment because it just like I said, it's like the whole concept of like it's over, right? And keep in mind, I've always been somebody that's very stubborn
Hmm.
to accept defeat. Um, so I mean, maybe that should say a lot, I think.
Yeah. Hey, there's a lot of things out there can influence how you think and your outlook. And although it is definitely a fight that's not far from over, it is nice to hear that you are indeed still fighting. And again, thank you for sitting down to do this with me. I really do appreciate your time. And hey, I'm wishing you nothing but the best. Obviously hoping those dark thoughts never do creep back in. But I would like to say, if they do, if you feel like you need to just talk to somebody, my DMs are open. I've got so many just kind of things, in my life too. And I'm not just talking about like content creators who we know who have taken their life. I'm not going to name any, but guys who know who I'm talking about. But I've had some family and friends who've kind of had similar things like that. And it kind of
It's
haunts
it's
me a
it's
little bit. So,
it's rough because right before this everything that happened last year,
yeah.
you remember Reckful?
Yes.
Um, I was close with Reckful,
Yeah.
and we were like
He's a good dude.
organizing. We were organizing for like a few months,
Hmm.
like for me to go to. I think he lived in Texas or something, but basically he wanted me to come to his house and stay with him for like some days.
Yeah.
And then like shortly before he killed himself, he like messaged me. He was like, "Hey man, can you like come visit me?" And like I don't know why, but like just the way he asked me, like I felt like something was wrong. And like I was like really busy at the time, like I really couldn't go visit him. But like I told him, okay, I'll go visit you. Give me like a week, and I'll go there and I'll stay with you. And he killed himself.
Yeah.
In that time span. And like to this day, I feel really guilty about that because, I mean, I know everyone will tell you like it's not your fault and like it's not your responsibility, but like I don't know, just the timing of it was so close, and like in a way I felt like I could have maybe contributed in one way and I didn't, right? And then he like asked me for help,
Yeah.
right?
I understand what you're saying.
That's why it feels different
Yeah.
because he asked me, um, you know. So that's like something to keep in mind, right? It's just like it contributed to like this moment. It contributed to like um everything that happened that month because it all happened the same month.
Yeah. I
Um,
get it.
yeah. And another thing I want to say is that people have been very nice to me in messages sometimes. Like they'll a lot, sometimes people will send me these like beautiful messages and they'll like leave me their like personal phone numbers, and I haven't responded to any messages, but like sometimes I'll call those numbers. I think there was a guy that called me or like rather email me sometime, and he was like a doctor, which is really strange to me. But yeah, the guy was like a doctor, and he like left me his like personal phone number. He was like, call me any day, any night. And like I called him like on a random like 10 p.m. some random day. And, like he picked up and was like so happy to talk to me. And like I don't know, like I was like happy to talk to him, but like maybe he'll know now. But like after I talked to him, I cried for a bit because I don't know. It felt like so touching that this random person
Yeah.
will like dedicate some time to you. So
And that's that's impact, that's influence, and that's, I think, something you should keep kind of close to your heart, because that's, not everybody would have have access to something like that. So, just kind of again use that as encouragement as you continue to move on with your life, man. And I, again, thank you so much for sitting down with me. I really do appreciate this.
yeah, no problem. I mean, thank you, man.
Yeah, for sure, bro. Thanks.